What if the reason classes can be challenging abroad has nothing to do with your level of English? Good day, my wonderful and successful international students. Have you ever been in a classroom and your heart is beating fast because, you know the answer to the question the teacher is asking, you have a very good idea, but you cannot speak. Your voice just doesn't come out. And then another student says your idea. The professor smiles and says, "Oh, well done, very good point." And you feel two things. First, you feel a little relief, but also regret. Why? Why didn't I say anything? I knew the answer. Is it because you're shy? Or is it because of your level of English? Or is it something deeper? Well, is it about maybe something you learned back home and maybe how classes are taking place in this new country, maybe a little bit different? Well, welcome to the Successful International Student. I am your teacher, Ada Sandoval. And today, in our episode 10, we're going to talk about classroom culture shock, okay? And first, we have to understand where this conflict is originated from. And then I'm going to give you some real-life strategies that you can start using immediately in your classroom to be more successful in your classes abroad, okay? Very good. So let's understand the core problem. The first thing we need to understand is that different countries have different classroom rules. And let me tell you a story about me. You know, I am a teacher of international student, and this has happened to me. This happened to me recently, about 2 years ago. I had a student from South Korea. And I remember in class all the time, always asking students, well, what do you think? Do you have any questions towards the end of the class? And I remember he will never participate in, and I understood. I didn't want to pressure him because I felt, well, maybe he's a little bit shy. And it took me a while to understand that he was just taking more time to think. And when I actually asked him, well, tell me, I realized in your midterm you didn't do very well, but when I ask students if they have questions, you never ask me if you have a question so I can clarify it. And then I remember he told me, well, professor, first of all, most of the times I'm thinking, and for us to give an answer immediately will be probably disrespectful. In my country, I have been raised in a way that if I ask a question to the teacher, is meaning you are a bad teacher because I'm not understanding. And if I have a question, I assume that it's my fault, teacher, not your fault. And I have to tell you, this blew my mind. Because I'm usually a very helpful instructor. I'm always trying to help students. And it was really hard for me to understand that I learned something important, very important that day. Silence may have a meaning with different students from different countries. And because in different countries, silence may mean something different, well, that's where we have to start. In some countries like parts of Asia, Middle East, Africa, and Europe, maybe, the classroom is a place to receive knowledge. So the professor is considered the expert. And the job of the students is usually just to listen, to learn, and to show your knowledge in a big exam or in paper, correct? So usually we're used to not speaking without permission. That can be rude. However, in many Western countries, like in the US, for example, in Canada, in the United Kingdom or Australia, it's the opposite. The classroom is a place to create knowledge together. The professor is just a guide, and a good student should speak and ask questions to help everybody learn in the classroom. Here, silence can seem like you're not interested, you're not prepared, you maybe didn't do all the previous reading, or you're not just paying attention. You're not shy. You're maybe following the rules from your home country, but now that you're in a different classroom in a different country, well, rules are a little bit different. So understanding the why, this is, I think, one of the most important things before we can go into the strategies, okay? These differences are actually supported by research. There's a very famous researcher. You know, I always love talking about how stand. Yes. Well, he studied these differences. He talked about the power distance that we have mentioned before in some of the videos. This means usually that in a society in which they see authority with very high power, they usually see teachers as somebody who has all the knowledge, and students should show great respect to the teacher, and that sometimes means not asking questions, just being receiving the information, right? So knowledge goes only one way, from the professor to the students. That's it. Questioning usually the teacher is not very common. And as I already mentioned, this can happen in some countries like in the Arab world, in some countries in Latin America as well. However, there are also countries that are low power distant culture countries. And here, the relationships between the teachers and the students are more equal. So students are expected to question, to discuss, and to talk with the professors. Again, as I already mentioned, maybe Australia, Northern Europe, etc. So you probably learned in a high power distance just to receive information. But now, if you're studying in a low power distance system, well, that's why it's so hard for you to be participative and be always interactive and be always raising your hand. It's just a cultural change. It's not a personal problem. It's not your fault, okay? Now, I want to tell you a secret. Most professors who teach international students like me, we can understand those cultural differences, okay? So it's not that we're trying to make you uncomfortable when we ask you questions. It's just that we need you to participate because we need to make sure you're understanding what we're explaining. And it's a very practical issue. In a big class, if only a few students speak, the professor is, of course, only going to pay attention to those 2 or 3 students who are speaking. So your silence, unfortunately, in a classroom can make you invisible. And if your grades include participation, this can affect your score. And we don't want that. We don't want to take points away from regarding participation just because you're not raising your hand or you're not participating. Now, I would like you now to see this, that you need a strategy. Now, with these strategies that I'm going to give you, I'm trying to change your personality. And as I already mentioned, it has nothing to do with your accent. Don't worry about your accent. Do not worry about that. But you have to try to participate in a way that feels safe for you, but also these tips are going to help you, I promise. So make sure to get notebook maybe, or take some notes on your cell phone so you can practice some of these strategies right away, okay? Now I'm going to divide this in 2 main strategies, okay? Strategy 1 is easy ways to start speaking in the classroom, okay? I'm going to give you 3 real examples. And with the strategy 2, I'm also going to give you 3 examples. So let's begin with the strategy 1, and let's talk about the first one. The first one is the add-on method. What is this? The add-on method is when you listen to another student, you listen to whatever they're saying, but don't say, oh, I'm thinking the same thing he's thinking, because I have had these students in my classroom and that's not what we want to hear. No. But what you can say, oh, I agree with Tommy, but also I would like to add that, and then you add what you're thinking. So this is easy because you're already starting from what another student already said, and you just add an extra idea, you see? So it's easier, it's less scary because you are already using an idea of another student. Or you can also say something like this. Well, connected to what Jenny was just saying, I also believe, and you add to that initial idea. So as I already mentioned, this is less scary because you're already using someone else's point of view and you're just adding a little extra. And that's going to put you, of course, like in the radar, right? Your teacher is going to notice you. Now, idea number 2 from this strategy also, remember, these are the easy ways to begin. Number 2 is the clarification question. Ask something as simple as, is, Professor, could you please explain that more? Could you please give me one example? Do you mean X or Y? I just would like to clarify. This, for us, the teachers, we love these questions. We love questions because this shows that you're listening carefully. The professors, they're going to love you because you're asking questions, of course, and that means you're paying attention. And idea number 3 from this, let's begin easy, no pressure, is the prepare one question method. So this requires a little bit more preparation. Before class, when remember in the syllabus, we usually present to you everything, all the topics we're going to be covering every day. So if you do a little research previous to the class, you can prepare one question or one comment related to the reading or to the topic. And you can write this question or this comment, of course, in your notebook. You can actually use ChatGPT or you can use any other AI helper to try to help you, like from this topic, we're going to cover this topic in class today. Give me 5 or 6 easy questions that I may ask in class related to this topic. And of course, just make sure that your teacher hasn't covered. So all these 3 ideas from strategy 1 are real good ideas. And I can tell you this, your professors, they are going to appreciate it. Now, from a strategy 2, we're going to go a little bit deeper because strategy 2 is to protect your participation grade. Remember, if class participation is part of your grade, you need to be very smart. Because of course, we don't want you to lose those points. We want to make sure everybody's getting those participation points. So, idea number 1 from this strategy is the weekly goal. Do not try to speak maybe every day. You still don't feel very comfortable because, again, this is a skill, right, that we are developing, becoming more participative in class. So set a small goal for yourself. I will speak 3 times this week in my classes. So you can pick actually maybe those 2 or 3 classes in which you feel more comfortable or with those professors that you feel that you can be more yourself, and those professors who are more understanding, the ones you feel more comfortable with. Well, choose those classes and write down those questions, right? Or write down additional information that you can give on the topic. And this gives you control. But make sure in your agenda you mark, yes, check. This week I did speak 3 times in different classes. So yes, I am doing it little by little. So that is idea number 1, and that can help you with your participation grade. Now, idea number 2. I keep telling you, my dear, wonderful, successful students, use your professor's office hours. So what are you going to do in the office hours? Go and see your professor during their office hours. Say, you know what, professor, I really liked the topic we covered today in class. I was thinking about it a little bit more, and now after the class, I do have a question. And of course, if your professor is in office hours, they will be very happy to clarify your question. And that is also something that we love because it shows your professor that you're a serious student, that you're taking your studies seriously, right? Another benefit from this is that if you don't feel very confident about speaking in class in front of all the other classmates, at least now it's just you and the professor, and you may not feel so nervous to speak with him, but still share your ideas about the class and maybe make up for your participation grade, correct? Very good. And idea number 3, the follow-up email. If you cannot speak in class, send a short email right after the class. Dear professor, I just wanted to share with you that I found today's topic very interesting. It made me think about this, blah, blah, blah. Now, let me tell you something. We do not appreciate when this email is just copy-pasted from AI. We do know when this was written by AI, but we also know when this is coming from you, when this is a genuine comment coming from you. And those are the emails that we appreciate, okay? You know what, professor? This got me thinking because back in my country, things are different and I was able to contrast this topic today in your class. So I really appreciate it, etc., etc. So this is proof of your engagement in class. It counts. And overall, for any of these strategies to work, and I think we have mentioned also this in some of our previous videos, we must change our mindset. We must change our thinking. And this is the most important step. Stop thinking that speaking is a test, that you must be perfect, that your English must be perfect. The purpose of this channel is to share ideas with real international students because our native language is not English. We are all speakers of English as a second language, third language, foreign language, so we all do have accents. But as I have already mentioned also in other videos, in most universities now we're used to international students. So do your best. Practice your question if you have to practice it, and maybe that's going to make you feel more confident. Start thinking that speaking in the classroom is actually a gift that you can give to all the other classmates. Why? Because so many students coming from so many different parts of the world, guess what? Your perspective from your country and from your own personal and professional life is unique, and it's very important to create knowledge within the classroom. Trust me, maybe it's very special, and maybe we, your professors, we really want to hear from that, because from most of the examples and experiences shared in the classroom, we, the teachers, can also build on that, right? It's always very important for us to connect all the knowledge we're actually sharing in the classroom with real life experiences. So you belong in that classroom. You are the one with your own experience. And your job is to share a little bit of that expertise, step by step. I know you don't have to be an expert, okay? Remember, your silence is not weakness. It's maybe just a sign of a different educational story, right? And to succeed, you have to understand that in most universities around the world, we must build bridges and become effective communicators in class, all right? So please choose one strategy from today. Okay, just one. Start there. Don't worry about more. Next week, you can choose another strategy or another tip, etc. You do not need to be the loudest student in your class. You need to be the student who thinks deeply and participates bravely. You have the knowledge. So let's practice sharing that knowledge with confidence. If you like this video, if you think many of those ideas might help you, like this video, subscribe, or maybe share this video also with some other international students, classmates, or friends who may be also feeling that classroom shock that we're all going through, okay? And remember, it is not only about studying abroad, it's about thriving abroad. I know you've got this. You know that I believe in you, and I will see you in our next episode. Ciao!